317,800.
What do the numbers
So
mean?
on the first day, you fap once. On the second day, you fap f of 2, which is also 1. On the third day, 2, twice. Fourth day, f of 4, sum of the preceding numbers.
Gooning explained. I am learning so much today.
It is Fibonacci fap February.
Oh.
In mathematics, this is coming from
Oh.
Wikipedia. In mathematics, the Fibonacci sequence is a sequence
Oh,
in which each number
that's where we're
is
starting.
the sum of the two preceding numbers. F of 0, and then it goes on, right? And we'll just fill this in. F of 1 is 1. Chat, say it along. Blake, say it along with me. You know what it is, right? F of 7 is 13.
13.
F of 29 would be 317,800.
What do the numbers
So
mean?
on the first day, you fap once. On the second day, you fap f of 2, which is also 1. On the third day, 2, twice. Fourth day, f of 4, sum of the preceding numbers, 3. By the 29th Fibonacci sequenced number, it would be 317,811.
Oh
so on the
my
29th
God.
day of Fibonacci for February, you would have to fap 317,811 times. Test of strength of mental fortitude, mainly.
A test
people
of
die.
strength of mental fortitude? Is that what you're
How do
gonna
you think
call
you
it?
get Fibonacci fap February?
I mean, realistically, third F3. That's as much as
Really?
That's as much as your boy.
He said I only
don't
got
have the energy
2
like I
in
did
me.
when I was younger, man.
Like you wake up, let's say you start your day early, 8 a.m.
Dude, it starts to hurt after a while, mate.
I could probably get here. If I really try, I'm not gonna say it's
If I
easy.
really
Oh, wait, what day is
try,
it? It's
my
February 3rd.
revolver has 2.
Welcome to class. My name is Professor Lando, and today we're talking about something very important. Riz. Valentine's Day is here, and a sort of special day for some, but perhaps a difficult one for others.
Oh my
From the
God.
looks of you all, maybe you are lacking in Riz here. You may be asking, well, Professor, what does it matter? well,
Maybe you're
Valentine's
lacking
Day is
in
here.
Riz.
And Blake, do you have a Valentine's?
No, I don't, unfortunately.
I had Valentines.
It's been a while.
They were 2D girls in
Year or
Bond
two,
stories.
give or take, Yeah, been a little bit.
All right. Do you have Riz, though?
Maybe a little.
Well, let's find out. Let's find out. Well, students, what is Riz? Well, from dictionary.com, Riz is a slang term for skill in charming or seducing a potential romantic partner, especially through verbal communication.
Video almost got
It is
blocked.
most commonly applied in the context of men.
Can we not discuss that? Can we not discuss my flower delivery man knocking on the wrong door? Can we not touch on that trauma, please? It's very traumatic for me. Okay, let's not talk about it.
And pursuing women. But not always. It is typically used in the same exact way as the older slang term known as game. Confidence,
Game.
I think, is
It's
the
so
word we
serious. It's the
always
fact that
often
my
hear
grandma
when associating with Riz. When we
said,
say people like, oh, this
"How do you
person has
expect to
Riz,
get
what does
flowers
that
if you
mean?
don't
What-
leave the house
what
and
key
meet
trait
people?"
about it comes across to you, and it's confidence. Pretty simple, wouldn't you say? But unfortunately, when it comes to
We're just gonna
acquiring
yeet
a
off-
partner, a
yeet off the
romantic
balcony.
partner, especially on this Valentine's Day,
Grandma said that.
there's
Grandma
going to
said
be
that.
some additional characteristics, additional things to keep in mind. But we're starting off with this as our foundation. Let's take a look at these other characteristics. So what we have here is a
what's the
rule
ruler for?
in investigating how to get a girlfriend. It's about, we can look inwardly a lot
How to
and
get
say,
a
well,
girlfriend,
I
chat?
have Riz, you have Riz, I am charming, I have confidence. Well, it's not always about you.
Affirmations?
Maybe it's about the other. In this case, in Blake's case, for this hypothetical, a girl, a potential girlfriend. Well, why don't we take a look at what they're interested in? What's important to them? Because
What is
that's
it?
the most important thing about a
it
relationship.
like-
It's a give and take. Let's send it.
Is it a you problem or a them problem?
I have marks here, and this is inches. We're talking about
Okay.
penis length here.
Makes sense, yeah.
Right. So we have here inches, right? 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4. 5-inch, 6-inch, 7-inch more. You know, I'm a professor. I
Makes
have a platform
sense,
to reach
right? I was
many people,
bored.
and I want to use this
I was like, where is he
opportunity
going
to
with
dispel a lot
this?
of myths. Okay,
About, like,
to give you the
interest?
hard truth
Oh,
here. The facts. What do girls and guys like? I'm telling you now. In the middle, about 6 inches. All right, 6 inches, and this from 6 inches on. This is just way too big.
This is crazy.
It's absurd. And we've done the peer-reviewed science, right?
This
We had a
is
sample size of
crazy.
about 1.
Hello?
And we did find that actually 3 was the average desirable length, right here. The 4 5-inch zone, that's the Goldilocks zone, right? So just to dispel any rumors or myths, misinformation, especially in the cyber age nowadays. I did want to make it clear that because there's a lot of confidence issues.
To use
We
the
talk
Kronk
about Riz,
meme
we
where
talk about
Kronk
the keyword
critiques your-
confidence. We don't want people getting in their own head about things, right? We
Excuse
don't want them
me.
to be thinking, because I hear that a lot, the sentiment from people, oh, I'm self-conscious about the size of my hands, right? I don't know, and it reflects inwardly, and it compounds, and you start to lose your confidence, lose your what?
Your Riz.
Exactly.
Oh,
So I just want to make
oh.
that clear. If you're 3
Oh,
and
we're
below,
circling it back.
I might suggest becoming a bottom when you're wearing a chastity cage. It doesn't matter how big you are, right? Don't believe it, girls. Listen, the 2.5% of you that watch my channel. Listen, girls, don't believe what you hear on the internet and what you
becoming
see.
a
all
bottom.
right? Why do you think they make these Expo markers this size? They could easily make them bigger, and they could easily make them smaller. It's
Hold on,
because
he's
they
gonna
want-
shut
They know this is going to be in people's hands, right? People are going to use these to write. They need to make it the most appropriate, natural
This is
size to
crazy.
be in someone's grasp. It's natural. Any
is
smaller, and it's like, oh, it's too
wild.
awkward to hold. Any bigger, it's the same thing. They looked at this marker size, and they were like, that's the perfect size to
There ain't no
grasp.
way.
It fits so smooth. You
There
can,
ain't
you
no
can go like
way.
this,
It's the fact that
you
his
can,
chat
maybe
is
pinky
like,
up, or
no,
even,
no, wait a minute. He's got a point.
pencil grip like this, or
Oh, I think he might be
it's big
cooking
enough to where you
something.
can, 2 hands, you can go like this, maybe, like, right?
I'm learning a lot today, Professor. I'll tell you that.
Let's talk about gooning.
Oh,
Blake, have you ever heard this term?
we've
Gooning.
made it to the core of the lesson, I think.
Maybe to mess around? Maybe that's what that means?
I mess around in a sense.
Everything comes back to, I mean.
Not to be mistaken with a goon, which is
called-
a lowly henchman in like a
called
cartoon, like
Gooning
a goon.
Explained,
right?
so-
Let's make sure we keep that
I mean-
separate. Gooning, in our context for
This
the
is
class,
where I got my
is very
PhD.
different
Oh
from being
my God.
a goon. A goon is you're like a guy that goes like this and goes
Like a henchman.
That's
That's the one that I knew
He could be
for a really
gooning.
long time.
They're
Yeah.
not mutually exclusive to one another. A
Well,
goon
when
can
did the
also
word
be gooning,
change?
But they are
When did the
separate
ing
entities.
make such a
To
difference?
talk about gooning, we should first talk about what is this?
Edging.
Oh.
Do you know what edging is?
My God.
Stand over.
I know. I know you know. You don't have to tell me. Edging.
I
the
know you know.
physical act where someone brings themselves close to completion in a self-arousing act, but does
All right,
not
I want to see his
reach
iPad.
completion.
I
To
wanna
try
know what
keep
kinda
up
notes
the
he has on that
arousal for as
iPad.
long as possible without actually reaching completion. And this is done.
I learned
in
about
a
the
sort of
ing way before it
self-pleasuring
blew up.
way.
Hello?
Why do we talk about edging and what does it have to do with gooning? Well, I want to note that the act of edging, this act of pleasure denial, is
I
not to be
literally-
confused with a roundabout
I literally
act of
very,
purity
very
or
recently learned
abstinence.
that this was even
Right,
a
you could
thing.
say, oh, they're denying themselves, they're being pure. No, it's the exact opposite.
Because I kept
Because
seeing
edging is
the
in
words
fact an
gooner
explicit
game.
act of self-pleasure
This is
and
this
would
is
not
a,
help
this
someone
is
achieve,
a gooner bait game.
like for
blah
example,
blah blah. And
they
I was
wouldn't
like,
be
what
able
the
to
heck
become
does
a
that
wizard,
mean?
right?
I don't
like, being a
understand.
virgin and abstinence would. So how is this related? Gooning takes this a step further than just a
So
physical
like very,
act.
very
Gooning
recently.
is a lifestyle.
AKA
So while edging is just the physical act,
around the
gooning
time I
is
started.
the lifestyle where, like I said, where someone edges themselves in an overly indulgent, obsessive way. Gooners,
Overly
those who
indulgent
partake
before or
in
after.
gooning,
I had never played a
often
game
spend hours
that
upon hours in the
that
act,
had been classified as a
often
Gooner
wasting
game.
time and not accomplishing anything else.
Before I
I
played the
think
game.
self-pleasure is okay. It is a natural desire, and when done in moderation, can be a part of a balanced and positive
and then
lifestyle,
after that-
especially if you're like a teacher. I think it fits right in.
I started
think
seeing
the
it more and
difference
more.
here, though, is that gooning is almost an uncontrollable, unrestricted act. It's the way that it becomes an obsessive thing, wasting hours upon hours, jerking it essentially. Caveat here, like many things gooning, there's nuance, right? It should be noted that gooners, those who partake in
everyone's
gooning,
brain.
are consumers, right? Their explicit adult act here, it's simply
As
to
a
the
fetish?
goal of pleasuring themselves in the consumption
That's
of
the-
adult
that's the
media.
definition that I
It
got.
might be disingenuous to imply that people who work in the industry, such as not safe for work artists, for example,
But yeah,
as gooners,
like-
or those who are gooning, since these people are
Gooner
living
bait,
mainly
think was the
markedly
term that I saw, like, the
productive
most.
lifestyles, or at least act in a way
And
that
I was like,
implies
what?
some sort of
What does that
work
mean?
aspiration,
ZZZ.
be it creatively
People also
or
throw that term towards that
monetarily.
game.
The
And-
Goon Cave. It's a setup in
What the hell? Let me say this real quick before he gets into this. I like as I learned like more about the term, specifically for like as the, like Gooner bait or whatever, like games and whatnot. I felt like it was kind of like overused because it was like I would see people throwing it towards anything that like had like a little bit of cleavage or like a little bit of like fan service. And it's like, oh yeah, I mean technically, if you want to get real technical about it, then like anything can be. The internet will like those types of people, they will find it in anything. Like if you're gonna be technical about it. I don't think like some things were built like I don't think all fan service equals like Gooner bait, you know? I think I think sometimes people like overuse the term. There's a couple like terms that people overuse, especially like on TikTok.
inside of a room, like a desk setup,
Do you
or
fall to
perhaps
it way
it's
too
on their
often?
bed or something. It's some sort of setup in a room
no.
belonging to a gooner
Like-
that is meant to optimize their gooning experience. This is usually done with as many
Gooners don't need fan
monitors
service.
within the
Fully
person's
clothed is enough
purview
for them. That's what
eyesight
I'm saying.
in order to have as much
That's what
not
I'm
safe for
saying.
work media playing as possible.
Like,
and I'll draw this example.
Sometimes
visually.
the things that I hear people say
I'll draw a
honestly
POV.
reminds me of
So this is an example
It was-
of a goon
it
cave.
was what
like
she
a
was wearing
POV
energy.
shot. Like imagine you're sitting there in your chair
which
and at
pisses
your
me off.
computer desk you have 3 monitors, right? Maybe a laptop in your lap,
Ain't
maybe
no
a phone, and on each one of these monitors you have some sort of explicit
no way.
media
What in the
playing.
cursed-
So you're trying to like immerse yourself. You're trying to you're trying to like oversensitize yourself, bombard yourself with as much
Oversensitize? Can you even
material
focus like
as
that?
possible, right?
I get
And
it.
that's the difference between like just a healthy like done, you know. Maybe it can be a little on the longer side. Whatever.
people use
You're having a good day.
interchangeably annoys me.
Yeah.
Got a
Wait,
good grade on your test or something. Like I'm gonna treat myself. Yeah. But this is like you're sitting here for hours going. Like you're just getting like bombarded. I think that the highest level goon cave is actually the Las Vegas Sphere. Ultra high resolution, 360
Las
purview.
Vegas Sphere.
Imagine what you can put up on that screen, and you're just there in the center of it, like this, and
What the
it's
hell?
the ultimate gooning experience. I'm gonna break into the Las Vegas.
That's when
Sphere.
you need to go
I'm
touch
gonna
grass.
Load up the Overwatch SFMs. put
That's
it
when
on
you need
there,
to go touch
and
grass, like, for real,
They're
for
gonna
real.
leave me in there, right? And I'm gonna burst out the top like Mothra. I'm like in my cocoon. I'd be like, and they consider it like it's not just jerking it to them. Like it's an experience. There's a whole Reddit I think it's Goon Caves or something, where they're like, check out my setup. Like they're showing
Wait,
people
it's an
their
actual
cars.
Reddit thread.
Check out my setup. And you're like, nice, Goon Cave.
Is it?
I went there in research for this. I'm such a
couldn't
pure
tell who the
person.
bottom one was.
I didn't know what gooning was. My chat, you sickos, I was screaming. Twitch.tv, by the way. They're like, gooning. I was like, what's gooning? They had to teach me because I'm just so pure of heart and mind and soul. What do you think about this? Is this too much?
I mean, now that you put it out in the world, I didn't even know this existed. And honestly,
Did we
it's
check?
like,
I'm not
I always like
checking.
to try things
I'm
once,
not
right?
checking. I'm not.
So-
I'm not. Opening myself
maybe-
up
do you
for
have
whatever
apologies?
my eyes will
Do I-
perceive if
I
I
might
check.
borrow some from you.
You can keep them, bro. I don't need them back. In light of Valentine's Day and wanting to pursue a partner here, we have
kinda
a
see it now.
surprise for you, Blake.
What do you have? What do you got for me?
We have someone here for you to date.
No way. Okay.
You're gonna go on a
A
date.
girl? Or
An
guy?
experiment.
IRL?
For everyone here to learn something, to apply the things that you learned, and see if you, in fact, have Riz. Are you ready, Blake?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I don't think you can
I feel
apply like
good.
half
I
of
feel
that
good about
lesson.
this.
Okay,
to-
we are
to a
going to
date.
go get your date.
I would hope
All right,
not.
Blake. We got a special date for you.
Who you
If
got?
they
Who you got,
come out
Professor?
with like a freaking
Hello, everyone. I'm Professor Linda. I heard that you guys were doing a lecture on Riz. I dropped my ruler. How silly of me.
That's crazy.
Okay. Professor Lando
did they
asked me
change
to
so
come and
quickly?
teach you guys a thing or two. So I'm happy to do that.
Freaking
And I heard
choker.
there was a little boy that was needing some dating experience.
Oh my God.
Theoretically would, but not really. Like,
What?
They
You're
don't
absolutely
look
beautiful.
bad.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. That's
like they don't look bad, honestly.
that's a really nice thing to say.
You look
The,
fantastic.
the
Like, 10
dress
out of
fits
10,
them
like,
well.
Unbelievable.
I didn't plan this far ahead.
The pin didn't
You
snap.
wanna maybe have our date?
Yeah, we should have our date. Why
Sure.
not- Blake, what do you think?
Dude, realistically, absolutely. Dude,
I wonder
you
how
look-
bad. How bad is the eyesight?
You look fucking good, dude. Cheers.
Happy
You look
Valentine's Day,
good.
Blake.
Valentine's
Even
Day.
he was like,
The thing I like about you the most is probably your choker.
You like that?
Dude, the chokers.
Okay.
Those go me. I go crazy over the
Okay,
choker.
yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
chokers
we're-
are
we're-
really nice.
All right.
All right, classmates, don't let me down.
are we
Let's see how
checking?
I think Blake has
How-
some
how's the Riz
pickup
gonna- the
lines
Riz
that you
skills?
guys submitted. I think Professor Lando asked for.
Let's see.
You were
your
really
best
thick
pickup
is
lines next
also a
week.
good
Rohan,
compliment.
I believe is the name.
Not chat trying to
are you
set him up for disaster.
Because you're everything I'm searching for.
Okay. Okay,
Oh
that's
my
a good one. That's a solid one.
I
Zenith
love you is
Xander,
good for a
shout out to
first
you.
date. This chat.
Did it hurt when you fell from a vending machine? Because baby, you're a snack.
Oh, that's the best one.
That
best
was
one yet.
dangerous.
So
I was
good.
like, "Ooh,
Okay, this one's okay, Oscar.
where are you going with this?
Shout out to Oscar. A diamond was the hardest object on earth until I saw you.
Okay, a little risky.
Yeah, a little risky.
A little risky, but if they're down,
These are
to
so
come
bad.
Like that might be a little.
These are
you
so
a vegan?
bad.
Because damn.
Why don't you open that up for me?
Yeah.
And why don't you feed me one of my favorite chocolates?
that's how you-
been doing well, I would say. I think mainly is you show an eagerness to be present, even
how
if
you
your jokes
don't-
don't land, even if you're
You
not
don't
dressed
get a
the
second
best.
date.
You show an initiative. You show interest. Like, oh, here, let me get that for you. Here's a gift I got you. I think that's what's important. Is
Yeah.
you show an effort.
A lot of it is just like
So an
the
effort?
thought that matters, right? It's your intentions, and I feel like as long as you have good intentions, things should hopefully
Well, if
play
you're
out
talking
the way
about
you
being
want.
hard
This
on the
is-
first
this
date,
is a romantic,
I think your
right?
intentions are.
That's why you guys are the best classmates on this earth.
What do you do?
Yay!
What do you do if your date does that? Is that a yellow flag? Is that a concern? If he tries to nip your finger. Stop, because he actually looks really good. He's
Thank you so
really
much
giving
to
the
our Patreon
angles.
supporters, and a special shout out to the students shown here in detention. Check out my Patreon page for
my
bonus
gosh.
content like extended footage, art, and behind
He
the scenes
knows his
updates.
angles.
Thanks again.
Wow.